Just want to make sure everything's working and that you can hear my audio. Let me know. Mr. Greg, you're the first one here. Can you hear me? Okay, well, we're gonna jump right into it as people join us. And since Greg, you're the first one here, we got a handful of people in now. I'm gonna start with you. So, first off, I'm just gonna kind of give you a quick update about where we're at, and then we're gonna get to patron questions, and then enter in as we're doing this, and we're gonna pass the phone off to all of the crew and just kind of give a quick update about what's been going on with us and how things are going so far. So right now we are at a dock, and we are actually at a dock here in Port Vila, Vanuatu, and this is the first dock that we have taken since leaving New Zealand. But we wanted to take a dock because we need to fill up on water. We wanted to really scrub the boat really well, charge our batteries to their full potential as well. So yeah, we've been on a dock for about 2 days. Jordan's bringing the piggy. First things first.
Say hi to Peanut!
She's got a dirty face.
Say hi, Peanut!
Was she eating a papaya?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So.
You want to hold her? I'm just going to post the link to...
Sure,
Patreon?
it should be good.
Yeah.
It should be good.
Should be
Here she
good.
comes. There she goes. So Jordan's going to post that link to Patreon if you guys are slowly coming in. All right, so Greg, podcasts, more. I agree. I always think that I'm going to do all these extra side projects. And, oh, pig's got to go down. And we've done a couple podcasts with the crew. We actually even did a podcast with Gone with the Winds that is coming up in a couple episodes. I love the podcasts. The problem with them is we just haven't found a way to put them up well where they can be viewed by the most potential. Right now we're only putting them up on our website. I think that it's a really interesting way of connecting with our crew and finding out more about us in a different form other than video, which would be awkward for those diving deeper questions. But we want to do more of them, and at some point myself and Jordan will give like a better backstory and our bio, or maybe that'll be in podcast form, not really sure. Greg, you also mentioned you are getting scuba certified. Congratulations. Excited. I hope that you do follow through on that and that you come join us so that we can show you some epic underwater things together, because that's our #1 passion, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, let's just jump into it right now. I feel like I haven't been doing enough diving this season, and we finally got to Tanna Island, and we just sat in, it wasn't even an anchorage, it was like on a sea cliff wall, and I dove 6 times in 2 days. And I just remembered like why I did all of this, why we're out here. And I can promise you this, that it like rejuvenated me, and I know that as long as I'm doing like what's making me happy, that it will definitely resonate and show in the videos. And most of you guys know us from our scuba days anyway, and you know that that's like our background. So I think it's important that we continue on with that. So we're gonna go on to the next Patreon question. Okay, so you guys know, I'm just on a phone, so I can't see the questions really well. So what's happening is the crew is writing down questions that they see, and then they're going to bring them out, and we're going to answer them as we go. But I'm outside, there's a big reflection on this phone, so I can't actually see all these questions coming in, but they'll come fill me in. Let's go to Randy Primer. Randy's been following us for a long time, hope to meet him one day, and he asked a really good question. What has been the biggest challenge so far? Leaving New Zealand is still the biggest challenge so far. I'm a pretty easygoing guy, and I don't really think when something breaks or when something happens, I don't view it as the sky is falling. So biggest challenge is simply that just trying to keep a level head. I think that living with a group of people on the boat, it has been hugely rewarding, and I don't think that that's been as hard as I thought. Maybe, yeah, come sit. Here's Jordan. That I thought that maybe it would have been, but still, I think New Zealand, just like the first initial emotional bomb of just leaving the safe harbor, is still to this day what I would consider to be the biggest challenge. And I think that resonates to the biggest challenges in life is just step one, you know, like whether that be going to the gym or starting a new diet or starting a new job. It's just that initial leap of faith jump is always the hardest, and it certainly is been with this project still. What could you say is maybe the biggest we've had so far?
I would say for me, my biggest challenge personally has been finding the balance between work and play, and enjoying what we're doing and creating awesome memories to share, but also putting in the legwork to share it and to grow the channel and all that, and trying to, you feel like you want to just go all out and like try your hardest and and work super hard and edit every day and work all the time, but you can't really do that. And so I think for me, trying to figure out the right mix of travel and off time and downtime, just relaxing as well, like not just always that you have to be filming everything and going on adventures, but to also just
we certainly
the mix.
We look at other boats next to us, we're like, what are they doing all day? Are they over there reading? Because we're like in here editing and fixing stuff, and I'm sure they're doing all those sorts of stuff as well, but I'm always curious, like, what are people like doing out here? But let's give a little bit of an update before we kind of answer some other questions. I'm going to skip forward to David asked about hiding from cyclone seasons, because that's also kind of why we're here, to give an update about what we finally decided to do for cyclone season. I did a little update on a video a couple episodes ago saying we weren't really sure what we were going to do. And we're in Vanuatu now. If you're not sure where Vanuatu is, it's just west of Fiji. And it is a stretch of hundreds of islands. 1 million islands.
Like 85, about 80,
islands.
a little more than 80 islands.
But we're going to go north. We're going to go north to the Solomons, which is hundreds of islands. And we're going to go to the very top of Solomons, which is pretty close to the equator. It's not at the equator. It's not 100% out of cyclone zone, if you will. But we're going to get some monsoon rain. We're going to get some heavy wind. But we shouldn't be getting like a full-on direct hit from a cyclone, which is our biggest worry. So that is our plan moving forward. Unfortunately, we would love to stay places longer than we can. Like, we've been in Vanuatu now for 2 weeks. I'd love to stay here for 3 months, but the weather just keeps pushing us. So we're going to hightail it out of here north to about mid-Solomons. That's where a lot of the wrecks are. So you're gonna see awesome wreck diving and cool caves that are there. And then we'll slowly make our way to the north side, keeping an eye on the weather and making sure that there's nothing big coming our way. What other updates can we give you? We got a pig.
Yeah,
Greg just asked about the pig.
That's pretty much my, kind of my
Why
all-consuming.
don't you tell us the story about the pig while I go get the pig?
So the pig, her name's Peanut, and we've had her for about 2 weeks. And we had the idea in Tonga that it would be fun to have a pig on board, like a baby pig. And we saw these cute baby pigs. Like a very, abstract, hypothetical concept that it would be cool to have a baby pig. And then when we were in Samoa, Chloe and Will got given a baby pig, which I think maybe we told you about in the last one. And then we could taste it, we were like, this is it, we're so close to having a pig, but the timing wasn't right because we were getting ready to leave Samoa. Oh my God, there she is, baby girl. And here, let me hold her really quick. Is she okay there?
She's good. She's got a dirty nose.
She had big snacks today already. Yeah.
This is our pig. Somebody asked if you were going to dump me for the piggy. Little do they know, it's a party of 3.
Yeah.
And this is our baby piggy.
Yeah.
And she's the cutest. It's going to be a cuteness overload for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. This is the best, well-behaved little piggy. And did you tell them where we got her?
Oh, I was in the middle of the saga continues. And so, in Samoa, we were so close to having the dream come true. And so when we got to Vanuatu, we said, we're going to be here for a month, and we're going to do it. And we're going to get a pig. And so we were in a village in Tana, and we saw all these little piggies running around, and we'd been telling them about how we wanted a baby pig and this and that, and just going on and on about how cute the pigs were. And one thing led to another, and little Peanut came home with us. Yeah. It took her maybe, I would say 3 or 4 days to really kind of relax into the boat life. And over the last week, she's really kind of figured out potty training. We have a little tray of dirt outside that she uses as like a litter box kind of. She's learning to jump in and out of the doors so that she can be a little bit more independent and doesn't have to be carried everywhere.
Just notice how long her eyelashes and
She
eyebrows
has the
are.
longest eyelashes ever.
She's the prettiest little piggy.
Yeah.
Yay.
She likes to snuggle in bed with me and Nate, and she sleeps all the time, and she loves to cuddle. She loves to eat coconuts, mangoes, bananas, anything sweet, like all fruits she loves. And
She's the most spoiled
yeah.
pig that ever was.
She did her first overnight sail like last week, and she did really, really good. So yeah, I don't know. That's let us know. Peppa. So yeah, she's adorable. She's kind of like taken over my life a little bit because she's too cute. Every time I'm working on anything, she just I look at her and I have to pick her up and I have to give her hugs and kisses and play with her for 5 minutes, and then she walks away, and then an hour later, so it's turned into a bit of an obsession. But she went on a super yacht with me the other day. She's a very fancy pig.
Very fancy pig.
Yeah, but I'm rambling now. I digress.
Yeah, it's okay.
Any other pig questions out there? Peanut?
The pig questions. I'm absolutely in love with her. When you look at her and you're like, oh, that's gonna be a pain in the butt, and she can be, but once she just cuddles up next to you for like 5 minutes, your heart just melts and you can't do the pig. So Peanut Butter the sailing pig, it's gonna take over like many of episodes when we first get this pig. It's just gonna be piggy montages. That's what's gonna happen. So we got a question. Is Jordan gonna dump Nate for the pig? Again, no. Any chance of heading to the Mediterranean or Caribbean? From Tim. Not anytime soon. Those of you guys that have been following us for a while know we've done the Caribbean. You've done the Caribbean. Everybody's done the Caribbean.
Mediterranean, I'm quite interested in.
One
Not
day.
right away. I mean, there's still so much on this side of the world to see. But
They allow the pig in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
That may be an issue. I'll tell you that about the pig. That she's considered livestock, unfortunately. So we are trying to figure out with customs and immigration, or biosecurities. I guess it's neither customs or immigration. It's biosecurities.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out if we're going to be able to take her to the Solomons or not. But I'll say this, it's not looking too good. But if so, we would find her a very loving home, but we don't even want to talk about it right now because it's just, it's hurtful. So, moving on. Let's do updates before we get to more questions. I want to tell you a couple things since we updated you in Fiji, is that
we had our patron meetup, our first ever patron meetup, and we had 6 people. 5
from New Zealand, 1 from the US of A. And it was amazing. We had 16 people on this boat.
Yeah.
And so
I'm starting to edit the first episode. We had like a time lapse of us eating dinner.
Yeah.
And there's just people are standing and eating, people are sitting in weird spots, like hanging off the couch, and it looks like you're in a full-on party and it's just us eating dinner one night.
Yeah.
And it was very cool.
I loved having them. We had Greg and his friend Mike, which you guys have seen before.
Grant.
I'm sorry. I said Greg, so sorry Greg too. Sorry. Grant and his buddy Mike, that you guys have seen in some episodes. They were just a hoot, musicians playing the guitar for us. We had Andrew and his 2 twin kids, which were just awesome. She got certified for the trip, and it was just really fun taking her around.
We took John on his first ever scuba dive.
Yeah.
To shipwreck.
Yeah, he's from North Kakalaki, Carolina, and he brought us some moonshine. And it was just good. It was good to see, we
went diving with bull sharks, manta rays. We did a lot.
Yeah. We ran them ragged and they ran us ragged. We went hard that week.
At the end of it, we just all we went and sat in this super chill anchorage, next to a resort kind of, and we just were editing and just chilling.
Yeah.
It was very cool, and thank you to everyone that participated, and for those of you that missed out on that one, or maybe you're a new patron and you're not aware of the fact that when we do the meetups, as of this moment in time, with the amount of people that we have, that it's like an open invitation.
Yeah.
So any of you can come. It's just a matter of, it's just a bit tough to plan them so far out.
Yeah.
So it's not always, it's not always the most.
What else could I say? Sylvan. Oh shit, Sylvan! So Sylvan, if you don't know, you need to rewind to some of the early boat episodes, is the OG original owner of Sylphia, and it's named after him and his sister Sophia. And
he's the son, and him and his dad Bernard, who passed away, they built Sylphia together.
Yeah. He's a legend, and you know, we just became good friends in the transition of all this. He spent 3 months with us getting the boat ready. Couldn't have figured it out without him. And he came back and spent a couple weeks with us from Fiji and sailed out with us to Vanuatu. And I just love that guy.
Yeah.
It just brings good energy, good juju, and we went hard. It was a little different this time because like we know the boat a little bit better, so we weren't as, you know, I think it was just more fun. We just had more fun with it, and really just kind of like get to know it. This is Jordan squinting.
I'm trying to read the questions. I was trying to read the questions. It's too far away.
So no, he was just it was a really good time with him, and I could see him coming back often. Update with him is he works on a mega yacht in the Mediterranean, and I could see him coming and joining us with.
Because he gets like 2 months, he does like a few months on, a few months off, so he'll be back. Sure.
We're gonna go back to Patreon questions before we get to some normal ones. Let's go down to Ryan, who we met at our going away party, if you remember Ryan. So this is a question for us and then also for the crew. So we'll let the crew answer this later, but is the expedition going as envisioned, and are the expectations what we thought they would be? I'll start that off with saying yes and no. They are now. They are now. We were moving so fast, too quickly, where I had all of these envisions of working with a lot of sustainable organizations and doing beach cleanups and help in where I could. But the facts are is like we were only in Samoa for a week. We were only in Wallace and Futuna for 2 days. We were just moving so fast. Now we're actually getting into some of those projects, which is really like the heart of why we started the nonprofit and why we started what we're doing, and it's really what our passion is. So here in Vanuatu, we're working with the Crown of Thorns people to help eradicate Crown of Thorns, or at least fight back. If you don't know what that is, it's an invasive starfish that's killing the reefs. We're working with Dugong Conservation Foundation that is trying to cultivate the seagrass and count dugong numbers, and that's what excites me. I love the ocean. I love showing you the ocean and all the beautiful things in it. So if there's anything that I can say from early videos to now that have finally, like, the vision is coming true, it's that. It's that. Other than that, is it the expectations?
I would say for me, I don't even know what exactly my expectations were, because it was such an abstract concept.
Just keep the boat afloat.
And I would say as far as the boat itself, you know, I'll be the first to admit that when we first were thinking about buying Sylphia, and right after we bought Sylphia, like sometimes I would just wake up in the middle of the night having like super like almost like panicking, like, oh my god, like what do we do, like what have we done, we can't take care of this boat, we don't know what we're doing. Like honestly, like full on, like I would wake up like sweating in the night. And actually the boat has proved, and like the sailing has actually proved, and we've had, you know, touch wood, we've had like, you know, good weather and good luck and everything. And the boat itself has actually been going really well. And then I would say for me, I'm just finding the overall, to me, I find the biggest kind of challenges, or what I didn't expect to be as challenging, was just the logistics of getting, you know, we fluctuate maybe between like 8 and 12 crew on board, getting like about 10 people to all, like, who's gonna start what episode at what time, and then the boat, and then the maintenance team, like what projects do they need to do, and like it's your cooking day, and then this, and then you got your chores, and I would say just kind of making the machine run has been more, it's been definitely, to me, the part that I thought would be easier, and it's been harder, and then the sailing I thought would be harder, and that's been easier.
The boat's been kind to us, and I know that we title things like taking on water. We're playing the YouTube game. Everybody does. Delos has been going around for 10 years, and they still play that game. So just, we got a little bit of water in the bilge. We were never going down. You have to drama pirates. Do I see pirates out there? So just know that. And now the boat's been kind to us. Yeah, things break, but that's boat life. you'll never leave the dock if you're waiting for your boat to be perfect. So let's move on from that. That was a really good question, Ryan. Appreciate that. We'll have the crew answer the other ones. The other things he asked was, are we missing New Zealand? The answer is yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of miss just like our little mooring, you know. I miss just sitting there and
life was simpler, you know, like the challenge, like the travel and going from place to place, like it's exciting, it's why you do it, but it is also, you know, you come into a new place and you're like, you know, where's the reef? Like, is the weather gonna change? Like, is the anchorage okay? You know, how do we check in? Like, where do we take our trash? Like, how do we get money? Yeah. Like, and so it is, like, life was quite simple in New Zealand.
And New Zealand's just
cool. It's amazing.
Beautiful, and like the crisp, cool, I could really go for a nice crisp, cool morning right now.
Yeah.
With a hot cup of coffee and a meat pie, because he asked about meat pies. Yes, I miss meat pies. I found one or two along the travels, but they're not the same. It's not the same.
And especially lately, because a lot of boats are leaving now to go to New Zealand. Like, now is the time of year when boats are leaving the islands to return back to New Zealand for cyclone season.
Mm-hmm.
So every other person you meet, they're like, okay, we're leaving to New Zealand.
Yeah, we're going north.
It's got you a bit like everyone else is going that way, and then you're going that way, and you're sort of like,
and they look
bye.
at you, they're like, all right, here we go. Michael asked, how is Nate's mom? She's beautiful. She sent me some Halloween photos of her and like the grandkids, and she keeps me up to date and in the circle with my family, which I'm very close with. And she's good. She's good. If you didn't know, she had a broken rib, which is, I think, healed or almost healed. Now she broke her toe, but she's good. She seems happy. I can't wait to have her back on board. We're trying to figure out when and where that will be, but it hopefully will be sooner than later, and she'll be a reoccurring mommy character as often as she can get out here. But I miss her. I do talk to her whenever I do get good internet. So yeah. When's your mom coming on board? Yeah.
I don't know.
She'll come.
One
they
day.
look just like each other if you don't know. Yeah. Jordan's got a beautiful mom, and her dad's pretty freaking cool too.
Yeah, my stepdad really enjoys scuba diving and travel, and they'll make it out here at some stage. Yeah. You'll find her to be very funny. Funny lady.
Paul, did we have her surveyed? He's asking because it seems like there's a lot of repairs that we're doing. Yeah, repairs are just part of boat life, especially a custom boat, and we've actually fixed other boats with our boat, like other parts. So did we have her surveyed? Yes. Was it the most thorough survey? Should we have maybe had him do 3 times as long and paid for it? Apparently. The Seacock thing, well, that's so stupid, but it wasn't the end of the world. It is fixed now, just so you guys know. Like, it's not just a little fix, like it's completely fixed, which means the bung's out and it is fixed.
The only major that they really found in this survey, which I think we maybe talked about in a video, is just that the fuel injectors and the fuel injector pumps needed to be like serviced and or replaced, and so that was sort of the one kind of major thing that that was like conditional of getting the boat, and we got that fixed, and that was pretty much it.
I mean, there's a lot of things going on the
boat.
boat.
If we were to take the boat to Antarctica or somewhere really hardcore, there's a few other things that surveyors said, like, yeah, you should really think about, you know, putting in thicker windows, a few things like that.
That'll come to a question that's a little later down, actually. But yeah, we got her surveyed. Of course we did. And yeah, apparently we missed the Seacock thing. Learn from our mistakes. Don't judge us too much. Like, we do things right as well, and we do things wrong. So everybody does. Piano, is it still there? Yes, it is.
Not getting as much use. We need a piano player on board.
Yeah, if you know to play the piano, come play the piano for us.
Molly plays a bit, and Chloe actually plays a bit, but she's much more. I'll catch her doing it in secret. Like, she's actually really good, but she doesn't really like to do it in front of other people.
Paul also asked, how do we plan for reefs? Charts not accurate. It does happen where there's charts, there's like a reef or an island that's not even on the chart. What we do, a bunch of things where we use the chart. We're lucky that we have a heap of people to help the mast to have a look at. We'll have somebody on the very bow of the boat.
If it's really super, if we can see that there's a lot going on, we'll even send the little white dinghy, the Mac.
We usually do that. In fact, if we even have a question, we'll put the dinghy in. And lastly, we'll put a drone in the air if it's like a tight fit, which was on a video a couple ones ago. So if you don't know this, an accident's going to happen close to shore or on a reef. It doesn't happen out in the blue. So we
did run aground for our first time though.
Is that episode out?
It was a casual.
That episode's not out yet.
No, I just finished it the other day. Actually,
don't worry about
we had
that.
a minor.
We
got minorly stuck in some mud, but it was,
running aground with pirates on the horizon.
Will they survive?
Will we survive? Okay.
So that episode I just finished it a couple days ago. That'll be coming out shortly, I think.
David, do we need a second head? It's actually proved to be less of a problem than I ever would have thought that it would have been. Sometimes we have to wait. Sometimes it's stinky, and we just giggle to each other about who blew up the head. Where are we heading for cyclone season?
But you usually know who it is.
Yeah, they come out with that look of shame.
Yeah.
Rolling at anchor, that's a good question. Yeah, we roll at anchor sometimes. Usually we're rolling when we're not in an anchorage, and we've actually learned to put out like a stern line with another anchor on it to kind of point us into the swell to really help with the rolling.
In the whole time of having the boat, that we've had maybe like 2 times ever that it was uncomfortably rolly in an anchorage. Like we've had pretty good luck with, and in the South Pacific it's like reefs everywhere, so it's usually pretty sheltered from the swell.
I guess we talk about the rolling a lot, but we've actually learned a couple things, especially when Sylvain came back on board, how to use our jib better going dead downwind. So we're getting better. We're getting better sailors. Like we went 12.5 knots on our way to Vanuatu. Went 25% faster than we thought we would have, and the rolls were a lot less, so we are learning the things. Kenneth and Marlena, higher latitude ice. The answer to that is yeah. One of the big reasons why we bought Sylvia is we do eventually want to go to Antarctica. So as Jordan was pointing out, a couple things we would do. Before you get into this, because you're going to comment on it, yes, one of Sylvia's sister ships went through the Northern Passage above Canada through the Arctic, and that is Armadillo. And so if you ever see a thumbnail that looks like Sylvia, that is one of her sister ships. There's 6. So we know it's possible, and we like seeing that because it gives us hope for what we want to do. As Jordan was saying, we would likely, what we saw Armadillo did is they put a second pane of glass in front of the windows to fully insulate it and to also stop it from like a wave breaking in. We would weld on some more plate bow of the boat so that it could be a little bit of a better icebreaker, so we could just ram into ice. Benefits of a steel boat.
We've got one of our through hole for where like the gray water and everything comes out. It's like it like comes up inside the boat like really, really, really high, like way above the water line, even if you're super heeled over. But if we were worried about going somewhere crazy, we would, and it's just packed on top, but it's not welded, we would like weld that shut, which wouldn't be a major.
We put a fireplace in. There used to be a fireplace, like a coal stove.
Yeah, we would need to do actually like insulation of the boat, because it doesn't really have, it has a styrofoam in some places, but it's really, it wouldn't be, I mean, we were freezing in New Zealand.
The answer to that is yes, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you want to know what we're thinking right now, and this is going to probably change a bunch of times, should we say what we're thinking now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very...
Solomons, over to Papua New Guinea up to Truck Lagoon, awesome scuba diving if you don't know that, through Micronesia, possibly Palau, then finally up to Guam, wait for typhoon season to end, and then we would go up the Guam chain. There's a bunch of islands all the way up to Japan. That's what we're thinking at the moment. I just think that would be really cool to sail up to Japan and how different that is. And so that has been in the last 3 weeks really what we're thinking. So that's, we would, for the next year, we would be through and Micronesia, and then about a year from right now actually is when we would start heading up to Japan, and then from there your guess is as good as mine. Other ones,
I have a few here too as well.
Okay. Regrets on food storage? No, actually.
Yeah, that's actually something that I would like to talk about, because I've just been doing a little bit of kind of reorganizing, because in the beginning everything was just jam-packed to the brim, and now that we've started to work our way through it, anyways, it was time to be kind of reorganized. And I have to say that YouTube shook me up a little bit, because we were getting a lot of comments about like, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna lose all your food, it's gonna go bad, like this and that, and it had me like really questioning our decisions. And I can say now that like we've put like a huge dent in it, and we haven't had any issues with it or any dramas. And one thing we didn't really show, it never really fit right into the episode, but like, I mean, we did vacuum seal almost everything except for like
yada. I don't think that people really understood how much 12 people can eat. I think everybody was looking at like other boats, like, oh, Delos has 6 people. Yeah, we have twice as many. And so it's different. Anyway, moving past that, Diva Cup. Let's let some of the other girls answer the Diva Cup. Or do you want to answer it?
I can answer it.
Too deep into this Diva
I know.
Cup.
A Diva Cup is like it's basically like a cup that you can use when you have your period, instead of having like just throw away, you know, pads or tampons or whatever. And so it's better for the environment, it's better for a boat, because you don't have that waste that you're having to potentially, you know, keep on board, like if you're on a crossing or something. So we do, that is like a rule on board to have those. And we use them.
Good talk. Let's move on.
That's such a guy thing.
All right, let's see what you answer these.
Okay, we have another question from Greg. Did your time on Delos help with organizing the crew? Has there been any crew who just don't get it? I would say for sure we definitely learned a lot from being on Delos, because those guys run a pretty tight ship. Yeah, and not like in a crack the whip way, but like it's just set up to where like everyone knows what they need to do, and stuff just gets done. And I would say we definitely learned a lot. Our cooking / dishes setup is what they did on Delos, and that's been working really well for us.
We learned heaps and heaps from it. It's one of those things that you don't really realize how much you've learned until you start doing it yourself. And I've had so many conversations with Brian about organizing and scheduling and not scheduling and going with the flow. I don't think that I could have done it this without the knowledge that I gained from Brian and from Brady and the entire Delos crew. So no, I learned a mountain of information in the 4 or 5 months that we were with them, and we still talk to them all the time. We still message and we still get advice. They know where we're at. They'll send us like what we should do and areas we're heading to, and vice versa. And we just, I absolutely love those guys. I miss them a lot, honestly. But yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, have you thought about sailing to Chile? That's a question from Felipe. And Chile, that's the proper way, I suppose. Just South America in general is one of the major regions of the world that I haven't ever been to, and that's very exciting and enticing. But the thing with sailing is it's sort of like, you know, like once you're in like a region to then like leave, then it's like you're not going back unless you go all the way around for the most part. So it is on our to-do list, but then at the same time our to-do list of the area that we're in is just massive.
It changes.
So
again, we just decided Japan a couple days ago. But I would say probably like a 4-year plan maybe. It is where we would kick off to go to Antarctica. So at some point we know we would want to be down there. What's this?
Okay. How is a teapot? Do you need one with a new handle? D.
Thanks, Brian.
That was from Nate's
mom.
We got
a new teapot. That's very specific.
Yeah.
We got a new teapot, and it's holding up well. It's not as thin as the other one, so it takes longer to boil the water.
Oh, it is. And do you want a tomato on your sandwich?
Yes, I want a tomato on my sandwich, Mom. I love you, Mom.
That's from, if you missed that episode, we had the episode where we put diesel in our water tank, and we're downstairs, and Nate's talking about what's going on, and in the background, Dee's making sandwiches upstairs for everyone. She's like, Nate, do you want some tomato on your sandwich? It's a bit of a embarrassing mom moment. Any romance with the new crew?
Let's let them answer that.
Yeah, we'll let the crew. Yeah.
We have romances with them. The crew's cool. We love them, and all's good there. Somebody asked, is there anybody that didn't work out? Some crews good, some crews good. They're all good in their own way. I will say that I think that everybody kind of like fit in where they need to, and everybody's got different personalities. there hasn't
strengths, weaknesses.
I have mine. Jordan has hers.
I
Like,
don't.
yeah. Well, we all do, and we're all human. And so I must say that we keep it real, and we do have good heart-to-heart talks. We should have them more often. That's the biggest thing, communication, so that things don't get. I overheated too, so I'm done. But I'm gonna pass the phone off to crew. If you guys saw any questions you'd like to answer, let's start it off with Molly and Philip.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can walk over if you'd like.
Hello.
Hello. So I have some news. This is actually my last day on Sophia. And this is Philip, who hasn't been introduced yet.
I'm coming though.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow morning as Sophia sails up north. I'll be staying on another boat for a couple of days and then flying back to Brisbane, and then from Brisbane I'll be flying back to England to visit my mum, who's been quite ill recently, so that's why I'm leaving. And yeah, so yeah, my last day on Sophia.
Let me ask you a question that got asked earlier. What would you tell yourself before you came on? Like, if you could rewind and talk to yourself, what would you say about what was about to happen to you?
Like,
what advice would you give?
Tell Molly in April before you came on board, like, hey, heads up.
Much shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a difficult question. What would I have told myself before joining?
Don't sweat about Alvy, you're going to see her anyway.
Yeah. So I first originally was about to crew on a boat called Alvy, which is a tall ship. And then just before I was about to crew, the captain sadly died. He was old though, so well, it's still sad, but at least he lived a good long life. So then that's why I found Sophia, because I went on Find a Crew and found Sophia that way. And we've actually been bumping into the same tall ship around Fiji and then again around Vanuatu.
Yeah, and Suva and now in Port Vila.
Yeah, Suva and now in Port Vila. So me and Philip will be staying on Alvy for a few days and helping them fix the sails and sort the rigging out. And yeah, it's funny how life works out in little circles. So my last couple of days here was spent on the boat that I originally was about to crew on.
Spend a year on,
yeah. Have you got to answer that question?
That was going to be shorter than I thought it was. And yeah, needed to save every moment of it. Yeah, that's all I can say really.
Alright. Willem and Chloe.
Yeah. Hi guys. Oh wait, I'm going outside.
Yeah, maybe we'll go outside because it's a bit hot in here.
Go in the shade so the phone isn't overheating.
Oh yeah. You live, so here we are again. And yeah, time goes super fast. We've been doing everything was mind-blowing for both of us.
Yeah, Fiji really was probably one of the coolest islands we've done so far. There was a lot to do, a lot of other cruisers there as well. As Chloe said, we both swam with sharks for the first time, which was really cool. Because when we joined the boat, maybe some of you know, we hadn't done any dives yet. And I feel like we're just ticking everything off the list, like shark dives, cave dives, wreck dives, manta rays. Like, we've pretty much done it all already. So
yeah, I think
it's a privilege to be on a boat like this where you can just do it off the boat sometimes even. So yeah.
Yeah, I think like to have this kind of dives as your first dives as a newbie, it's quite a crazy experience. So we're really enjoying it. And after Fiji we came to Vanuatu, which until now I really love. Like, the people are super friendly, and the first island, Tana Island, was super remote. All the houses were built from leaves and like nature. And
for the people that don't know, Tana is one of the most southern islands of Vanuatu, so that's where we went to first. And it's got an active volcano on it, so you'll probably see that in the episode. And I saw
at the moment, and she's still very motivated to sail. And I mean, it's Oceane. I know that people that knows her a little bit, yeah, she's all good, so don't worry about her. And yeah.
someone else also asked if this experience has strength. I think every relationship goes with ups and downs, and when you're living this close together, you notice the ups and downs way more. If you're just living anywhere else but a boat, if you're in a down, you can just give each other some space. On a boat, that's not the case, and then when you're in a down, you butt heads a little bit harder than usual. But in general, I think it also learns you to accept each other's flaws more than you would otherwise do, and have more compassion for each other. So I think I'd have to say that, yeah, might have done a little bit for us.
Yeah, I actually need to agree on that. That it is a challenge to be as a couple on a boat because of the small space. But I think that you're learning each other in another way, and I think it can only, you know, the fact that we're still together and happy. And I think communication is the key, and until now everything works fine, and I do believe that it's strengthened our relationship. And as Nerea somewhere she says that she says that if you want to marry someone, you should first maybe have a try on a boat as Sylvia as a couple, because it is challenging, but the more you are with your relationship here, also the more you appreciate each other, I think. So
Yeah. So, yeah, other than that,
yesterday we've done something cool as well, which is we actually killed the crown of thorns. So people who don't know what exactly that is, that's the starfish that actually damaged the coral. So Emily, Nate, and we went to dive with Peter, and he's responsible for all that. And yeah, we will tell you all about it in an episode. But it was a very cool experience, a little bit exhausting to work underwater, but it was cool to see that you could help the coral, and yeah.
also I just realized something. So in 2 days we will be the oldest crew on Sylvia, because I saw someone's comment that we've been here since the beginning, and yeah, so it's a strange feeling, because all the new crew that come on board, they're all cool. Jordan and Nate do a great job of selecting the people that come, but it feels weird, you know, because you start out with that little family we had in New Zealand, and then people come, people go, and you have connections with some people. You have some better ones, with some you connect a little bit less, but in general it's all fine. But then it does feel weird to just have everyone but Nate and Jordan that joined the boat from the beginning to be gone. We had Amir, we had Lindsay, Brett's come, so yeah, it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, it will be weird because we will be definitely then the only crew from since the beginning. So, but I'm really excited to meet the new people that will come, and the other people that will get to experience this amazing project. So it's cool to share it with a lot of people.
Chloe already took advantage of the situation. She didn't even leave Molly one day more, and she already took her bed. So
I thought I deserved an upgrade after 5 or 6 months, because Molly has the best bed. And yeah, I think, do you have something else that you, or
no?
okay, so we will pass you on to someone else who's inside. I will pass you to Emily.
Oh. Do you know the question? What would you have told yourself before?
Okay, so there might be a little bug because the internet. So sorry for that. So for the question you asked for the crew, what I should have told myself before to come on the boat. Actually, I wouldn't change anything, because I just came on the boat with an open mind, and I think this is the key on that kind of experience with so many people that you don't have a lot of control on, and there's so many interaction and things going on that you have to have an open mind to survive on a boat with 10 people, and sometimes 16. So yeah, you just saw me on the episode for 2 episodes now for the patrons. I've been on the boat for about 2 months and almost a half. I'm very enjoying it. We're moving fast, which I like. We've been to 4 countries. I've started in Samoa. And yeah, Vanuatu have been so good yet. I think it's my favorite place. It's really authentic what we experience in Tana. And we have a bit of life here in Port Vila, getting ready to sail like quite far away from the beaten path in the next month. So that's pretty exciting. And I'm gonna see if I can find some questions that you guys are asking. I can't see. One moment, I go inside, ask. Is there a question coming up?
No. You want to tell me about Brett, though? You want to tell me about Brett?
Yeah. Okay, so we have no question yet coming up for me, but I'll tell you a bit about Brett. He left us in Fiji. I guy like taking care of stuff, but hopefully he can take care of his thing like in a few months and come back. So that would be great since I'll be around for about 6 months again still. So I would love to have Brett with us back. And I just say question, what's one thing that has happened that you would have never expected? Before to come on the boat, I would have never expected to have a baby pig with us, which has been really awesome. Every day, every time I see a Peanut, I'm like, wow, this is happening. We have a baby pig as a pet. It's so cool. But yeah, that's so far the craziest thing that happened on Sylvia. And I just saw a comment. I hope you'll stick around so you can get to know me. Yes, I'll still be for another 6 months. So for you guys, it's gonna be like 8 months of footage that you will see me in, because you just start to discover me in the episodes now. Yeah, I'll see what Nerea has for you, and maybe I can come back later if you have some questions, since I'm very new on the episodes, and if you want to get to know me a little more. So.
Is it working? Yeah? Okay. So, hey everyone. What I would have told myself before coming to Sylvia, I think like to embrace the private moments that we have, like not so little. And yeah, I don't know, like I'm really open-minded, a little bit impulsive, so maybe to calm down in some moments that I think that I would have told myself. But more or less, it was a new experience, it was a new adventure, so we didn't have any expectation about it. We just want to jump in on the boat and figure it out every day, and every day it's a new challenge and a new everything. I don't know if it's working properly. And I have to say that the last couple of weeks I've been alone in the boat, because Aitor had to leave to New Zealand because he got a infected cyst in his face. That's one of the reasons he was like using on the videos all the bandages in his face and everything. It wasn't makeup. And yeah, so he's in New Zealand right now, and he's going to get the surgery the 11th on Monday. And then as soon as he gets the surgery done and just 24 hours check in the hospital, he will fly here and join us, hopefully for the Greek dive. That's for him. It's been quite hard having to leave Sylvia, because he's been enjoying a lot and he loves diving and like the crew, and he's in love with the project and with Sylvia. So we are reunited again, and yeah, to keep on the adventure together. And I don't know, having a pig on board has been another real challenge, I think. She cried during the night, so a couple of the first week I couldn't barely sleep, but as soon as you see the pig running around and smuggling, calling you, yeah, you just forget about the night cries. And I don't know if you wanna know something else. And yeah, our episodes, I don't know, as I told you, Emily sent my first episode that will come in a month, few weeks, and we are really excited. So I hope you will like our new episodes, our new editing, and yeah, see you next time. Who starts it?
I'm just gonna close it out. We're almost at an hour. So, Piggy wants to, you wanna close it out, Piggy? Piggy wants to close it out. All right, so, is it connected? Yeah. Other than that, yeah, we're just cleaning up. We're heading north. We're gonna be in Santo. We're gonna be diving the Coolidge wreck, which is one of the best wrecks in the world. So stay tuned for that. And we have a new crew coming, Angela. I don't know how to say it, but her name's Angela in French. She'll be joining us in a couple weeks as well. And that's it.
Peanut wanted to say bye to everybody. Say bye, Peanut.
Bye, Peanut.
Bye, big girl. Oh my God.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll connect again in about a month when we get to the Solomons. Till then, yeah, hope you guys are enjoying, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Uh-oh, how do I turn it off? Uh-oh, oh, you're stuck with us. You're coming with us to Solomons, everybody. No! Make it so hard. There we go. I want to stop streaming. Yes.